So guess what I bought? A rolly chair. And a crap load of vacuums. So my main vacuum, after 4 years and literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of work, finally crapped out. So I did what everybody normally would do, just jumped in a car, went up to Home Depot to buy a new shop vac. And when I got there, there are tons of options. Now, after the popularity of that video, a lot of people ask me, what is the best shop vac to get? And quite honestly, I don't know. So I found myself in the same boat everybody else is when they go look for shop vacs. There's a ton of them. They look pretty much similar. They all have different kind of specs, but which one is best for dust collection? So to answer that, I went ahead, bought one of each from Home Depot, and I also went over to Walmart, bought a heart just for comparison. And then I did a ton of research on what these specs actually mean and are they useful. And I found out something huge in all my research, something that nobody would have ever suspected. Big corporations are lying. I know. So how I'm gonna be testing these is in a real world environment, in a real shop, mine. I'm gonna be testing the suction off a regular 20-foot hose, a 20-foot hose that most people would have hooked up to a shop vac directly to one of their tools or pieces of equipment, or just a vacuum, just cleaning up the shop floor. Then I'm going to test it on suction of the actual dust collection system, how it runs over a 50-60 foot run, down into a hose, into a piece of equipment. Does it still hold its suction on that? Also, decibels, because we all know shop vacs are annoyingly loud. So is it quiet enough? And versatility. Which one of these do you actually want to have in your shop? Which one of these do you want to actually use? Because one of these might have great numbers, great suction, but is a nightmare to actually use and haul around your shop. So that makes it kind of pointless. So I'm gonna test which one of these are actually good. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the corporate line. Well, not lying, just really stretching the truth. And what I'm talking about is the marketing of the horsepower on the actual vacuum. You will always see peak horsepower. You see it right here on the heart. You'll see it right here. You'll see it on the shop vac brand. You'll see it on Craftsman. You'll see it on DeWalt. Every single brand does it. All of those numbers are total crap. Now bear with me. Now every single shop vac says peak horsepower. So peak horsepower is the peak amps an electric motor draws the fraction of a second after you start it up. So in other words, you start it right here, it will skyrocket an amp for just a fraction of a second, like literally like 1 to 2 milliseconds, and then drop right back down. And this is its actual running amps. So let's say you're running a 120 volt outlet, which most people do. And let's say this vacuum right here takes a max of 50 amps to start up. And it hits at 50 amps right there for just a fraction of a second. That equals 5.5 horsepower. So you're only achieving that 5.5 horsepower for right there for 1 millisecond, right when you start it up, and then it skyrockets just right back down into your actual operating horsepower, which is going to be about 1.2, which is why all these peak horsepower numbers on your vacuum, those are completely pointless. But hey, they work. They worked on me. When I first bought my vacuum, I saw it was like 5.5 horsepower. The biggest one there, I was like, okay. Now, if you want to calculate the actual true horsepower of your motor, I'm going to show you. But if you don't really care and you just want to see the testing, jump to this point. Okay, to figure out your horsepower, horsepower equals voltage times ampage equals wattage times your power factor times the efficiency equals your true horsepower. Now that seems confusing, but it's actually super easy. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is find the actual specs on your vacuum. It's gonna be on a little plate, either on a box or you can find it online. It's gonna have your volts and your amps. So the first thing you're gonna do is figure out your watts. And that is volts times amps. So off the example I'm showing, it has 120 volts times 11.8 amps equals 1,416 watts. Then you're going to take that watts, 1,416, times 1 horsepower over 746 watts. Now that's your power factor because 1 horsepower equals 746 watts. And you're going to figure that out by 1,416 times 1 divided by 746, and that's going to equal 1.9 horsepower. Then you're going to multiply that by the efficiency. Now, all electric motors are not 100% efficient. No motor is 100% efficient. But it's basically agreed upon that electric motors are 70% efficient. So right off the bat, you're losing 30% of that efficiency. So we're going to multiply 1.9 times your efficiency, 70%. And this is going to give you your true horsepower. Boom. So this is actually what these vacuums are running around. Now, the reason why this is actually more of a real number is because most people have a 15 to 20 amp circuit in their home. Like this, 20, 15, 15, 20, 15, 15. This is basically normal. Most older houses all have about 15s. Newer houses have some 20s. I have 20 running to my shop, and those run to a 120 volt outlet. So with that combination, you can only realistically sustain a 1.3, maybe a 1.4 horsepower over a sustained period. Even if your shop vac could handle 1.5, 2 horsepower plus, you don't have the ability to deliver that much power to be able to generate that much horsepower. So that's why all these manufacturers put these peak horsepowers on there to make it look good, but then actually only deliver that much horsepower, because that's really all you can do. So they could bloat these numbers up to 12 horsepower if they want. It doesn't matter, because it's just going to hit that quick peak, drop back down to your normal operating horsepower. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, if I can't buy a vacuum based on horsepower, I'll buy it off of CFMs. Okay, so CFMs are another one of those stretched truths, because where they calculate their CFMs are not at the end of a long hose, not at right here. It's actually from inside the motor. Now again, every single brand does this. What they have is the motor laid out in a perfect environment, and it has it sucking the air through there, and they'll take the reading off from inside. And at that point, they get a really good CFM reading. But that's not real world. And CFMs can be changed so quickly, such as when the whole entire motor is off and this thing's running, it's sucking air perfectly. But that's not real world, because what's actually happening is air is coming from way down somewhere at the end of a hose, passing all the way down, coming in through here, circulating all through here, going through possibly a dirty filter, down in through here. So that actual CFM rating is total crap. So by now you're probably thinking, well, if I can't buy a vacuum by horsepower, I can't buy a vacuum by CFMs, how am I supposed to buy a vacuum? How am I supposed to pick one out of the sea of vacuums that are out there? Well, you just wait for an idiot like me to spend over $600 on a ton of vacuums and run through a bunch of tests, and I'll tell you. Okay, so this is how the testing is going to work. The first test we're going to do is a decibel test. Each vacuum is going to be placed right here within the green zone. And the decibel meter is going to sit right here, which is 5 feet away, which is about average between how far a vacuum is away from someone who's actually working in the shop. So anything between 80 to 90 decibels over a long period of time can cause hearing damage. So that's the number that we're trying to stay below. And to start it off with, we're going to start with the Walmart Heart, because other than the bucket head, this is basically the cheapest one. So all the Ridgids should kill this one. And I got all the vacuums plugged into a remote outlet. So let's start. $79, not bad. Okay, up next, the bucket head. I don't think this one's gonna work well. I think it's a really clever idea. I just don't think it's gonna work well, but we'll see. We're on 81. Okay, next up, the Ridgid 3.5 horsepower, 6 gallon. I think it's loud for a little motor. Okay, now a Ridgid 5 horsepower, 3 gallon little compact thing. Nice. Ridgid 10 gallon, 6 horsepower. All right, now the Ridgid 6 horsepower, 14 gallon. That one's much better. Okay, so here's a quick summary. As you can see, the 10-gallon 6 horsepower was surprisingly loud at 91 decibels, which was weird because the 14-gallon 6 horsepower larger one was much, much quieter. Okay, now for the second one, wind speed. Each vacuum is gonna be hooked directly up to a dust separator. Because if you're running a shop vac for dust collection, you really should have a dust separator to it. Now in my first video, I opted out of the dust separator because I wanted a little bit more suction directly from a long line hose. And the dust separator was cutting that suction down quite a bit because the first dust topper was pretty inefficient and it was letting a lot of suction escape. But after about 2 hours of my first project, my filter was completely clogged up and suction was almost dead. So then I ended up modifying this dust topper to where I was able to get almost zero loss of suction. If you want to see how I did that, go ahead, check out that video. I show how I modified this dust topper to where it's absolutely great. And I'm also using a 7-gallon bucket because also in that video, I proved that the larger the bucket, the more efficient this thing is. So if you're using a shop vac for dust collection, I strongly suggest putting a dust separator on there. And out of all of them, I do recommend the dust topper just because I like it. I've knocked this thing over about a half a dozen times, and if I was using one of the Cyclone ones, it would have probably broke the top off, and I love how compact this is. And there's been a million tests out there between this one and all the other ones, and they're all about the same. So if you're going to get one that's pretty much about the same as the rest of them, might as well get one that's nice and compact. That's why I kind of like recommend that one. And like I said, if you have the old style dust topper, watch that video because I'll show you how to modify it to where you have zero loss in suction. And if you don't have one yet, they do have the new version. It's a Pro, which basically is exact same thing I did to modify it. So they work great. Okay, so one last thing about the shop vacs before we get started is when you're setting up your system, you're going to have your shop vac running to your dust separator. Now at that point, all of your sawdust is going to be held in this bucket. Nothing is ever actually going to go into the tub of the shop vac. So at that point, the tub of your shop vac kind of becomes irrelevant. So when you're shopping for one, don't worry about if this is a 15-gallon, a 5-gallon, a 3-gallon, a 10-gallon, whatever it is, because it's basically irrelevant because all of your sawdust is held in your bucket. The only thing that you really need to be concerned with is just the motor of your shop vac, and that's what we're testing. But now back to the suction test. It's going to be shop vac to a dust separator to a 20-foot hose. Okay, to sum it up, the Ridgid 10-gallon 6 horsepower was definitely the most powerful, but the biggest surprise was the Heart was just as powerful as the 14-gallon 6 horsepower Ridgid and nearly as powerful as the 10-gallon 6 horsepower Ridgid. So that was kind of a big win for the Heart. Okay, so now the third test, the dust collection suction system test. I don't know, whatever. It's the shop vac connected to a dust separator connected to my dust collection system, which goes to this connection point right here. It's going to go up this pipe, down that way, all the way down this pipe to this hose. It's a 15-foot hose, and we're going to test the wind speed out of this. This is where it needs to prove that it can maintain its suction all the way down through here, which this is pretty long dust collection system, even for a normal shop. But if it could maintain a good suction all the way down here, it's going to be a good vacuum. Okay, to sum this one up, the Ridgid 10-gallon 6 horsepower was the most powerful, but another big win for the Heart at an 8.4 gives it the second spot. Okay, so now for the functionality of all these. Would I want these in my shop and would I recommend them to somebody else for a shop vac? Damn it. Stop saying shop vac. They're not shop vac. They're wet. These are wet dry vacs. They're not shop vacs. Shop vac is a brand, and I gotta stop saying that. For the bucket head, no, not at all. I wanted to test this because I really think it's cool. I love the idea of it, and this has definitely got a target audience out there. It wouldn't be anything for a heavy use. It would be for, I would say, someone who needs to use a wet dry vac once a month and then put it away. And for how cheap this thing is, I think it's cool, but for a shop, not at all. For the 6-gallon one, I would recommend this one just for if you're sweeping up the floors for general light use. It's definitely nowhere near powerful enough to actually hook up to a system. I would never hook it up to my system, but I would keep this around for just sweeping the floors. Now this one is hands down my favorite. Not for use as a shop vac system. Damn it. Stop saying shop vac. Now, I was really rooting for this one to win because I really do like it because like I said, if you're hooking this stuff up to a dust separator, you don't need a large base. You just need a good, strong motor. And that's what this had. So if this was strong enough, I would love to use it, but it's just not strong enough. But I do love this for what it is. This is the coolest little small portable shop vac I think I've ever seen. Everything is tucked in within itself and it's got a great motor. So if you do something like auto detailing or if you need a on-the-go shop vac, this thing's so perfect. So for this one, it was the most powerful and that was really good, but I can't get past how loud this thing is. In an enclosed space like this, it's just too loud. Now, if I was on a construction site or somewhere where a much larger open area and I wanted a strong vacuum, yeah, this would probably work really well. But for an enclosed space like your shop, no, I just can't recommend it. Now for this one, the 14-gallon one, the 6 horsepower, it did very similar numbers to this one, but it was so much quieter. It was nice. This does give a very large footprint. It's 14 gallons. And like I said, if you're setting this up with a dust separator, this is gonna be a large footprint in your shop. But I will have to say, this one is strong enough to set up to a whole entire central vac system. It's strong enough to stand on its own and it's got a big enough base of it. If you decide not to go with a dust separator, this will handle everything perfect. And it is cheaper than this one. So out of the Ridgid vacuums, I'm gonna have to say this one because it's strong enough, it's quiet enough, you can set it up to a central vac system. It worked great. So you're probably wondering about the Heart. It did similar numbers as both these, and these are both over 100 bucks, and this was like 65 bucks. It was as quiet as this one. It was as powerful as this one. So why am I not gonna recommend this? It's fully out of reliability. Now my other big Ridgid 5.5 horsepower one I've had that for almost 5 years, and I easily over 1,000 hours on it. I beat that thing half to death. I've left it out in the rain before. It's taken everything with perfect stride. Now within that same amount of time I got that, I've gone through 3 of the Walmart vacuums. It works well for a very short period of time. And during that time, I kept buying them over and over and over just because it was a quick, simple vacuum to use around the shop. But over the lifespan of my large one, I spent more on these things. So that's why I can't recommend this. It does give good numbers, but it's not going to last. I know a ton of people out there who have Ridgid vacuums that are 14, 15 years old, and they're still working perfect. Now time for the final test, Home Depot's return policy. Oof.